I need one meaningful skull to wave.
How about Tom with some Greg sprinkles?
What? I mean,
who cares?
I'm more than a sprinkle.
There's so much anticipation for season 4 of Succession. Nick, tease it out for us.
Season 4 starts with, the kids and Logan have splintered off. Tom has aligned with Logan, and thus Greg has aligned with Logan. So Tom and Greg are feeling pretty confident beginning of the season. The kids are kind of like pretending they don't care, and starting a new venture. And of course, things start to heat up, and Tom and Greg, maybe start losing their footing. But the fight begins pretty quickly between both sides.
Tell us, what happens to Greg this season?
Greg has a pretty, he's got an interesting arc this season. Greg is trying, as always, to land in the right place, but Greg has acquired some skills from, like Liam Neeson style, a set of skills that I think is pretty, he's really matured. So I think he's able to sort of wield those skills better than ever. And Greg, to me, feels more bold and confident than he ever has. So there's a lot of nice twists and turns coming up.
So Nick, tell me a little bit about what you've loved most about Greg's arc over the course of 4 seasons on Succession.
Yeah, it's been fun to try and figure out how to mature him, or how the Roys influence him as a person. He comes in as a pretty like blank slate, and just kind of like a puppy dog, just sort of like include me to keep me around, please, pay me like something, and I'll, that's all I need. And then eventually, how do the politics and the sort of ruthlessness of the Roys, like how did they affect this sweet guy? And so it's been fun to kind of try and figure out how does that land on him, and in a way the importance of that is, how does working in this world affect any of us? If any of us were dropped into the Roy type realm, you see it happen, in the Trump world. You see it happen in the Senate and Congress, and people who you thought like, oh, they started out, they seem like a pretty decent person, and then you see them doing things that are against that the brand of person you thought that they were. So anyway, that's kind of the responsibility I feel in playing Greg, is let's show like the honest version, the truthful version of what might happen when you're influenced by bad people at the top of the food chain.
Fans were obviously shocked when Jesse announced that season 4 is going to be the final season. Nick, how did you react to that news? Did you see it coming? Was it a surprise to you as well?
I did not see it coming. I figured we would be a 5-season show. I don't know why. It just felt like 5 is like, feels standard for dramas, HBO dramas. But when Jesse told us, it was like, cool. If you think the story wraps up here, then it's good by me. I think we all felt the same. It kind of was a sobering thing, because you do the show, and when you're on a TV series, you're signed for 7 seasons, or they have the option to keep you on the show for 7 years, and so you're sort of like, okay, I'm in season 2, could be 7. See, in season 3, who knows? And then to know season 4 is the last one kind of brought some reality to it. Like, okay, this show will end.
That last day on set, what was that like?
It kind of felt like any other day. There were a lot of characters, a lot of cast on set. So it, in a way, is one of those special days where you're seeing people you haven't seen in a long time come in, but felt like we've got some good scenes to do. I shot my last scene as Greg chronologically. that day too, and so it felt, I don't know, it felt like the right way to end it amongst all these other great actors, and then felt really sad to never be in that costume again and be with these people again and work with. I don't know. I'll probably work with some of these actors again, but it did feel like, oh, this might be the last time. And so it was sad. It was tough.
I was telling my brother-in-law last night I was going to be interviewing you, and he said, "Oh, I really like that character, Greg, so much." And then you go online and you see the rankings of most likable, least likable characters on Succession. So Nick, tell me, who is the most likable character on Succession, and who's the least likable?
The most likable character, I think, is Roman for me. I just think he's like so charismatic and so quick, and obviously Kieran is that. He's such a smart actor, such a good actor, but I just think somebody like that, you're like, yeah, I wish I could rip into people like that. I wish I could, just say exactly what I felt and be a dick about it. But we can't do that basically in life. And he can. And the most dislikable, unlikable character is probably Tom. I don't know. You love Tom. He's a sad character, but I don't know. He's cringy. Maybe Greg is just as cringy. I don't know. I can't be objective about it, but I think Tom is pretty unlikable.
So it's funny that you just mentioned Tom, because there's so much talk of a Tom and Greg spinoff. I think Brian Cox said that he would like to see a Cousin Greg spinoff. So Nick, what's your opinion on that? Where would you like to see those two? If there was a spinoff, where would you imagine those two setting up shop?
Oh my gosh. I feel like Matthew and I have talked about, like, what if Tom and Greg got sent off to like the Asia branch of, go to Tokyo or something and run some branch of the business there, and they're the two tallest, sort of weirdest guys in Tokyo. Maybe they just, I don't know, they get obsessed with sushi, they get mercury poisoning or something, and learn Japanese and like decide they never want to come back. They quit the business world and they just open up a boutique hotel. I don't know, we're just riffing here. What are those, like, capsules? Don't people live in kind of like tiny, like mini rooms there? Isn't that like a thing?
I think it is.
Apartments, like 100 square feet. Isn't that a Tokyo thing?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So can you imagine Tom and Greg like sharing a mini capsule together? Like that could be cool. That could be like there could be an episode that's one long take of them inside their mini capsule in Tokyo. Something to think about.
Gregory Hirsch, executive assistant to Tom Wamsgans, correct?
yes. Yes, if it is to be said.
I'm sorry?
If it is to be said, so it is.
Are you all right?
Yes. I merely wish to answer in the affirmative fashion.